Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out Frank Martin with a left hand at 129 in the 8th round to successfully defend his WBA lightweight championship. It was Davis's first fight since an equally stunning knockout on Ryan Garcia in April of 2023. Stephen A., is Tank Davis the most exciting fighter in boxing?
Yes, he is. He absolutely is. I love me some Terrence Crawford. He's spectacular, probably #1 pound for pound on the planet. I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan. Obviously, I'm a David Benavidez fan. But this brother, Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, the time has come for the world to recognize this is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3.
Yeah.
You can make a legitimate argument for him to be in 3, 1, or whatever. Frank Martin, props to him, came into the fight 18-0, 12 knockouts. Clearly did not have the power to keep Gervonta Davis from stalking him from opening tap. That's what he did. He stalked him and stalked him and stalked him, okay? Frank Martin caught him with some good shots. Gervonta Davis kept coming. So he can punch. He's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes, he finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer. And so the time has come for this man, Mayweather Promotions, PBC, Leonard Ellaby and Al Heyman and all of those guys. The time has arrived for us to stand down and to start giving Gervonta Davis the love and respect that he deserves. This brother is elite. And he said this something, and this is what really stood out to me. You know, you got a lot of guys talking smack, talking junk, going back and forth, and I get that. Not just because they're hyping up the fight, but they got a belief in themselves. Major props to them for that. Gervonta Davis looked him in the face weeks ago, and right in the press conference, he looked at him, he said, "You actually should have waited." He said, "You took this fight too early." He said, "I'm telling you right now, you ain't ready."
Yeah.
Okay? You're not ready yet. He said, "You good, but you're not ready."
Yeah.
He said, and he went just like this. He said, "You really, really should have waited because I'm going to take you in the deep waters and you ain't ready." And that man took Frank Martin in the deep waters and he wasn't ready.
Before we roll,
That's
let me
what
ask
happened.
you this. Tank Davis, 30-0, 28 KOs. Obviously,
Spectacular.
it was a vicious knockout.
Right.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
Shakur Stevenson.
Okay.
Now, Lomachenko is a brilliant, brilliant tactician and a brilliant boxer. Footwork is magnificent, very experienced, et cetera, et cetera. My issue with Lomachenko is that I don't know if Lomachenko has the power to stop Gervonta Davis, which means that we'd basically be watching the fight to see if he will outbox Gervonta or if he'll survive.
Yeah.
That's not the fight I want. I'm of the mindset that Tank is so much stronger than people realize, so much more powerful of a puncher than people realize. I want to see him up at the 140-pound limit. Don't make a Ryan Garcia come down to 135. Don't have the hydration clause in there.
Yeah.
Don't avoid, and he's not avoiding anybody. But I'd also like to see him against a Teofimo Lopez too. I'd like to see, not Devin Haney, because Devin Haney, even though he's a fabulous boxer, the punch, I don't think he could take a punch from Gervonta Davis. I don't see it. Gervonta Davis might be the best in the world, but I know this much. You know how I am about box office. I see a whole bunch of boxes out there. Gervonta Davis is the #1 box office attraction in boxing.
I want to pause on that, right? Because we were supposed to be out there for the Conor McGregor fight, which obviously isn't happening. And I know he's a little past his prime. But I want to go most box office fighter, period, boxing or UFC. Are you still going with Tank Davis?
Well, you'd say Conor McGregor because he talks so much trash that people gravitate to him. You got people that want to come to see him lose, just like they want to come see him win, right? Even with the big layoff. I would say to you, however, for legitimate fight purposes, Gervonta Davis, to me, is the #1 attraction in boxing. He's the #1 attraction in boxing. He will finish you. He will close. And this brother comes, and he's one of those guys. They call him, the mini Mike, as a Mike Tyson. He's willing to take a punch to give it now. And I haven't seen him hurt. I haven't seen, he got bruised.
Yep.
He might have bruises, but I ain't seen nobody wobble him. I ain't seen anybody hurt him. And Frank Martin was talking, in respect, again, I'm not disrespecting, because Frank Martin showed me he could box, but damn it, you went in there with somebody, you went in there with Tank Davis, right? Frank Martin was talking about how in sparring he wobbled him. Nobody give a damn about that. You sparring. Yeah. Anything can happen in sparring. And by the way, Tank denied it. And so what does he do, Molly? It's little stuff like this you got to watch. It's one thing to deny it.
Yeah.
It's another thing entirely to deny it, and then the fight arrives, and you walk right across the ring from opening tap like, wobble me now.
Yep.
Wobble me now. That's what Tank did. We talk about wobble. You ain't never wobble me. And walked right across the ring. I'm not talking about round 2, 3, 4, whatever. I'm talking about opening bell. He walked right across the ring and said, I'm right here. Wobble me now. And Frank, to his credit, was boxing beautifully, using his jab, but stupidly, respectfully, Frank, it was stupid for you to be leaning on the damn rope so much. But I know why he did it. I know why he did it. Because he was expending too much energy trying to avoid those punches from Tank, because Tank was throwing haymakers in the first round. Yep. He was trying to avoid it, and you were expending energy, and you were saying to yourself, I can't do this all fight. And by the fourth round, you thought that you could lean on the ropes and ultimately counter Tank. No. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not do that to Gervonta Tank Davis. If you got the power.
I haven't seen you this hyped in a long time.
Listen, Gervonta Davis is the real deal.
You
got to be in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
Or in the rope. If you're going to be on the ropes, you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be in one of the corners. Not against Tank,
Not against
Tank.
I just want you to know that I'm back boxing again. And once that right hand gets a little better, I'm going to get some footage for you. I was just expending some energy myself, running sprints in the park.
You do understand that when we're talking boxing, we're not thinking about Molly.
Well, I had an incredible workout.
Sentence.
It's the
we're
best
not thinking
workout.
about Gervonta Davis and Molly in the same sentence.
I'm only 3 times back in it, and I forgot how amazing it is. And do you know how cathartic it is to punch? Like, you just really get a lot out. I didn't realize how much I enjoy punching.
Well, let me tell you something. He got a lot out of punching Frank Martin Saturday night. A whole lot.
Cheers.
Put him out.
All right.
Put him out. Like, respect for Frank Martin. He showed boxing skills, but there's levels to this. And Gervonta Davis said it weeks earlier. He said, you might have took this a little bit too early. He said, literally his face like this. He said, you really should have waited.
You love that.
He said that. And I was like this, well, damn. And then he went in the ring and showed Frank Martin should have waited. He should have waited.